Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Some showers and thunderstorms expected tonight into the day tomorrow, along with some cool temperatures expected for the weekend. Warmer air on tap as we head into next week. So we'll jump right in, taking a look at what's going on. Watching for some of these showers, thunderstorms, very isolated, but they'll be moving through overnight tonight and then into the day tomorrow as well. If you're not seeing those showers, which many won't, into the day Saturday, expect to just see some cloud cover out there. But as far as precipitation goes, precipitation totals go, we're not expecting to see accumulate too much. Some of those higher totals in areas north, but overall light, but we'll take whatever we can get in these drought conditions. Now here's a quick peek at your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. We're watching for unsettled activity for many, some showers and storms in the forecast. Quick peek at Orlando. Check out that cold front moving through down to 77 degrees on Sunday. Now your Panhandle to Panhandle forecast, watching for these unsettled activities, those unsettled conditions here as well. Very isolated shower and thunderstorm activity overnight tonight and then into the day tomorrow. This map looking very intimidating. Many areas are going to be staying dry. It's just something to want to be aware of as we're down to 37 degrees in Kingwood tonight, up to 55 degrees for Saturday afternoon in Kingwood. Otherwise, some isolated showers and storms for Clarksburg, 36 degrees Saturday morning, heating up in Clarksburg to 57 Saturday afternoon. And then Madison, 41 degrees Saturday morning, heating up to 60 degrees Saturday afternoon in Madison, with those very isolated showers expected out there. We'll see more sunshine, though, as we head into the day Sunday and Monday, with some warmer temperatures expected for next week. More showers and storms, though, are expected.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
5, 3.
Rag 57! Rag 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Friday. Welcome into the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. We're in the Health Plan Studios. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe. Good evening, guys.
Hi, good everyone. Evening.
Lot to do. Mountaineer baseball team getting set for the first pitch coming up in a couple of minutes, we think. Looks like the weather's going to move through. We'll check in with Greg Carey in a bit. Joe Brocato's out covering a big baseball event, the LKC championship round. We'll see if weather affected that today. And coming up a little bit later on, there's a baseball coach in West Virginia, high school coach, that's on the verge of doing something that only one coach in the history of the state has done before him. And that would be Robert Shields of Bridgeport is 2 wins away from 1,000 in his career. Think about that.
That's a lot of wins.
1,000 high school baseball wins. And he was a little reluctant. Not that he didn't want to talk to you guys, but he was like, let me get it. But the problem is I think they play every day next week. So I wanted to, have him on and talk about it. I said we won't dwell on it. We'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll talk about your team. But I just kind of wanted to make people aware of that Robert Shields is very likely to go over 1,000 career wins next week.
Pretty good. Pretty impressive. And obviously a ton of state championships.
Right. He'll join us coming up. First, let's head to the ballpark. Greg Carey's with us. And, Greg, when I came in, it was raining. It was about 52 or so and raining. But I'm looking at the radar here. It looks like it's going to move out. So are we going to get the first pitch in on time?
As of now, it looks like we are. And good evening, guys. It's been raining kind of on and off, starting to be a little bit more in the steady rain over this last kind of 20, 30 minutes here at the stadium. But at this point, I don't think it's, torrential enough downpour that we're going to have any sort of delay. If it worsens, it might get a little bit dicey, but I think hopefully here within, the next hour or so, we're all clear, and not exactly an ideal night for baseball, but I do think we are going to be able to get this game in, and hopefully all three this weekend on what looks to be kind of a chilly weekend, certainly for the first one in May.
And Greg, we were talking amongst ourselves prior, but not ideal also when your pitcher missed some time with an arm injury. Now all of a sudden he's got to go out in cold and wet and try to perform as Maxiell is going to try to do tonight.
Exactly. It'll be his first time, towing the rubber here in 2 weeks since he left early, I believe in the third inning a couple Saturdays ago in his start against Houston. They obviously shut him down for last week, and he did not pitch in that three-game set at Cincinnati. So a welcome return that should bolster West Virginia's pitching staff. But you mentioned the conditions, not ideal. Certainly when you kind of think of that cold weather, generally you'd think maybe it's a little bit tougher to hit, and that could again be the case. But with a pitcher that's had a 2-week layoff and somebody whose velocity was noticeably down the last time he got the ball for West Virginia, it's going to be something to monitor tonight because in the worst way, the Mountaineers need a pretty strong start from Maxiell, and he has given them a number of them this season, but this is a pitching staff that's desperately in need of one tonight against Kansas State as well.
Yeah, it's a great point, Greg, and I think that's obviously the story of the night is what he looks like and what he's able to deliver, and you also worry about the stop-start potential nature of that rain coming through, that once he takes the mound, you certainly hope you can roll through however many innings he's able to give you, you hope you can get through. What's he facing on the Kansas State side of things lineup-wise? Who are you watching there?
It's a Kansas State team that's really been up and down throughout the season. They're coming in here with a 4-game losing streak. They were swept against Kansas. As we know, the Jayhawks are atop the Big 12, so not necessarily any shame in that. But if Kansas State is going to, make a serious run at the postseason and ensure that they're going to be a part of the Big 12 tournament, they've got to come in here and probably win this series. This would be a big bolster to their resume. They've been up and down throughout the season, but certainly a couple guys in the middle of their lineup that have done some damage throughout this season. They've got a surplus of 300-plus hitters, and D. Kennedy, a shortstop, hitting nearly 400. He's second in their lineup tonight. He's the guy that kind of makes this offense go, has some speed, and consistently puts the ball in play. So I think he's a key guy for both Maxiell and whoever comes in after him amongst that Mountaineer pitching staff to keep off base. And as we know, West Virginia's pitching has taken a little bit of a hit here recently, but I think another side of this game to watch tonight is the Mountaineer bats, because I think the offense is in need of a breakout performance, and that's something that could bolster the confidence of the pitching staff when you're able to kind of go out there and you know that you have a lead with which to work with. You don't have to be perfect, and there is some margin for error. I think that could go a long way towards the confidence of whoever is pitching for West Virginia in this one tonight.
And you mentioned that Kansas State starting a guy for the first time all year. Tazewell Butler is going to make his first start all season. He's got a 6 ERA, few too many walks, so it may be an opportunity for West Virginia to jump on a guy on the road making his first start.
Yeah, and we know that, the Friday night games haven't necessarily been super kind to West Virginia this season. Obviously, there's a tweak in the pitching staff we've given Maxiell the Friday start tonight. But as you mentioned, this is an opportunity on paper for West Virginia's offense to snap out of. I don't want to say it's necessarily been a prolonged slump, but they just haven't hit the way that they're capable of. And obviously, we know the power numbers have been down. So for West Virginia, I think it's just kind of back to the basics. They've got to get that running game in motion, get some guys on base, create havoc, and this is an opportunity to do that. You mentioned he's got a pretty high walk rate, so I think on behalf of the Mountaineers, you want to try to display that patience, kind of see some of those pitches come in early to where you're not taking a couple innings to have to adjust to them, and then maybe that can lead to some pretty quality at-bats, and you get some traffic on and create some havoc early in this one.
So, Greg, less than 20 minutes before first pitch, any idea what the crowd's going to look like? Is the weather chasing people away?
It's not as large as what you would think it would be on a Friday night. I even noticed coming in about an hour ago that, there was a good bit more parking available than when I was here a couple of weeks ago for the Houston game on Friday night, as well as the entirety of that UCF series a few weeks back. But I do think it'll still be a fairly strong crowd. The issue is, the rain could be on and off. It's also not exactly very warm, so certainly not exactly going to be what you become accustomed to in terms of the home field advantage, but I do think that there will still be a respectable crowd.
It's a shame, though, because it's alumni weekend and all those guys coming back, 60-plus alumni coming back, including a bunch of guys from the 96 regional team. So kind of damper things a little bit. But let's play ball, right, Greg? 50 degrees and a little bit of rain. That's what we're used to in the eastern part of the United States.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like the start of the season and kind of what we become accustomed to, when West Virginia always tries to get that first home game or two in. But regardless, it looks like, the temperature's not going to be much higher for the next two, although they will be earlier in the day for the afternoon games on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be fairly chilly as well.
All right, Greg, thanks. We'll look for your work a little bit later on tonight.
All right, no problem, guys. Have a good one.
Greg Carey there covering WVU and Kansas State, game 1 of that Big 12 Conference Series. MetroNews guys out working hard tonight, as you would expect. Greg is at Kendrick Family Ballpark. Joe Brocato out covering a high school event, the Little Kanawha Conference Championship for baseball. And first of all, Joe, good evening to you.
Good evening, guys. And as you know, since you have called a game here at Doddridge County High School, the best place to watch a baseball game is from the bleachers atop Klein Stansbury Football Stadium. And that's where I'm joining you from right now.
All right. Well, I hear the crowd in the background, so weather's not a factor there. You're going through with the schedule, sounds like.
Little bit of rain for our third place game at the start, but it looks to be, as I knock on wood right now, cleared out. Buffalo and Gilmer County going at it in the third place game right now. The appetizer for our championship game, which will follow, and right now they're in the top of the fifth. Gilmer County with a 3-2 lead. The Titans getting on the board in the third inning with a 3-run home run from Colton Holbert. Buffalo answering the 2 runs in the bottom of the third, and they're batting in the top of the fifth.
So where are we in the championship game? Is this the third place game?
So top of the fifth right now in the third place game, and then Williamstown and Doddridge County will take the field about 45 minutes after this game is done. It is the championship game of the Little Kanawha Conference Tournament. Both of those teams advanced through semifinal games on Tuesday, in which they both won by a single run, very low scoring and highly competitive semifinal contest. And this will be the third meeting of the year between Williamstown and Doddridge. They've split the first two, and the third will determine the league champion tonight.
Joe, as we affectionately call it down there, as you well know, Doddridge County College, with the facilities that they have down there. Hey, ask you about a couple games or a game that you're not necessarily covering, but last night, big one with Morgantown and Wheeling Central. That's a big win for the Maroon Knights, isn't it? Knocking off the Mohegans.
Yeah, that Wheeling Central team is very, very good. And I think of all the favorites that have established themselves across the 4 classes, they're probably the strongest of the favorites in Class AA. I had a chance to see Central on Saturday, and they put 16 runs and 22 hits on the board in a victory at Charleston Catholic, and then they backed that up with a victory at a very good Morgantown team that's across all classes one of the best teams in the state. So I think Central is certainly in Class AA established themselves as the heavy favorite to this point.
Yeah, the defending champs from last year. Joe, we just mentioned it's WVU Baseball Alumni Night for the Kansas State game, but one alumni who's not there would be Levi Maxwell, the coach of this Williamstown team. His team's going to be in action here in just a bit. Williamstown with a nice bounce-back year. We've got them number 4 currently in AA, and that's a program that's always built on pitching. What do they look like this year?
It looks like Jenner Burge is their number 1 starter and should get the ball tonight. He did not pitch in the semifinal victory that they had over Gilmer County on Tuesday. And hey, you're right. A lot of the very successful Williamstown teams in recent years have been built on pitching and defense, and they've won this tournament 2 consecutive years, so they're looking to make it a third. And I actually see Coach Maxwell walking below us right now, and he's done a fine job with this Williamstown program over the last couple of years, getting them to the state tournament level, and obviously very successful within this conference.
All right, very good, Joe. We'll look for your work coverage a little bit later on tonight. Gilmer County, Buffalo squaring off, and it'll be Williamstown and Doddridge County under the lights for the Little Kanawha Conference Baseball Championship. Stay warm out there. You got your windbreaker on? A little windy.
I am glad that I over-prepared and have the heaviest of MetroNews jackets because it is absolutely needed. 50 degrees, but at the top of the football bleachers, a little bit windy up here.
Yeah, can imagine. All right, thanks for your time.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
You know, an upset that he's got to break the parka out, not an upset that he's overly prepared and ready to go.
I was just going to say Brocato and Carey. Those are the 2 guys that are always warm. They're, no matter what, they're going to be warm. Right?
Well, Joe has to wear Parker. I've done shows in here with him in this studio where he's wearing a heavy coat because he's so cold. He's just Cold-blooded.
Well, that was a good segment. That's like our Friday football whip-arounds right there. We're just heading all over the state for the big games tonight.
Got a lot going on around the state of West Virginia. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll get a break in and get into this in depth, but we do have a football commitment.
Yeah, West Virginia picked up.
Kind of buried the lead there.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Picked up its 9th verbal commitment. Again, this is class of 2027. So these are guys who are finishing up their junior years in high school and aren't going to be seniors until next fall. Will sign in December. Likely in today's world, enroll in January and go from there. And Brad, Ja'Cory Paisley.
Correct.
Paisley. Yep. Not spelled different, but pronounced the same as one Brad Paisley.
Talked to somebody before the show, and I just my text was, he can burn, huh? Fast, and Greg can get into that after we take a break and we come back. I just asked, he can burn, huh? And the text came back, said legit. So you got a speed guy, which Rich has continued to look for. We'll dive into that.
We will get into that, and the text line is open, 304-TALK-304. Anything you want to get into a little bit later on. Coach Robert Shields of Bridgeport, 998 career wins as a high school baseball coach in West Virginia. And we mentioned before he'll be the second to get to 1,000. And, of course, the great John Lowry is one of the – I believe I looked this up today – he's the winningest active coach in the country in high school baseball and is in the top 5 or so all time. And he's approaching 1,500 wins. But Robert Shields is going to join him in the 1,000 win club at some point next week. And we'll hear from Coach Shields coming up. This is the CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on MetroNews Television.
CityNet statewide sports line. Kyle, Greg, and Brad. 304 Talk 304. The text line is open, still to come. A little bit later on, head coach Robert Shields of Bridgeport. All right, Greg, got a burner for a future WVU football recruiting class.
Yeah, Paisley's a kid that, Brad, you said runs well. Well, I mean, it's documented too because he's also a track kid last year. So this is as his sophomore year. He was in the top 5 in the state of Georgia in his class, and he upper mid-level class because I think there are like 8 classes in Georgia, in their 5A. And he was in the top 5 in the 100 and 200, won the 400. If you look at his times, every one of those times would have won the state of West Virginia's track meet last summer. So this is a kid that runs well, really well. And each of those times would have been way ahead of anybody in the state of West Virginia. So, and Brad, so it's documented on numbers from track, and then you just watch his film.
And he goes.
And yeah, it's really obvious. And a speed guy, not a ton of wiggle from what I saw. It's just flat out one cut and just outrun everybody.
Well, as we've said, so a couple things. Rich has talked about it since day one, and he said that a lot about last year's group. He knew right away that they needed to get faster. That was a priority in the offseason at every position, but we know how he loves that at receiver, where there's just a guys we say, you're going to run it a ton, and you're going to run it right at people, and they're going to know you're going to run it, and you're going to keep running it. But then he loves to hit you. When you, start creeping up a little bit, and you better put somebody in the box because we're going to run it at you again, and turning someone loose down the sideline and just on a go route, Greg, that's what he's looking for. And, right, you can't teach speed, so you try and amass these guys that are burners and see who shakes out. Keon Hutchins is probably in that role this year from what we've seen early on.
Yeah, junior college kid. And for Paisley, I mean, he had Vanderbilt, Pitt type of others that had offered him to this point. State of Georgia, southeastern portion of the state, not all the way to the coast, sort of inland about, 50, 60 miles. So, I mean, that's the area of Georgia he's from. But when you can be fast in the state of Georgia, you can be fast because...
That's like legit fast, you're saying?
Yeah, they got guys who can play and guys who can run. And, West Virginia, the couple of guys that are also sort of athlete types that, we'll see if they're defensive backs or wide receivers in their future who have committed to West Virginia so far. First guy that you can truly say, yeah, definitely a receiver. And he's played a little running back in high school too, just because, find a way to get the ball in his hands. But receiver is his future.
Now, normally I would ask you now, what's the number of commitments here for the 27 class? We can go ahead and talk about it. Not that it matters what the number is, but I know you love to track this.
Yeah, this is 9. 105 is your roster limit.
Stop it. Just say what the number is. You don't have to worry about roster limits. Load the wagon.
I do think that, we've seen West Virginia with, 75, 80 newcomers, by the time you add them all together, 40-plus high school guys. I think you'd like to cut that number down because that means you have less attrition. And you'd like to keep some of what you've got, keep the best of that and not have all the turnover.
Can you cut it in half? Can the number be 40 next year?
I think that's...
Would you take the under on that right now? I won't hold you to this. But would you take that right now on May 1 if I said next year it's 40 newcomers after 70-plus the first 2 seasons, under 40, or do you still want the over?
With transfers, that sounds low
still
to
low.
me
50,
compared to what
50.
50 is probably more in the range because you're going to end up with just say 15 transfers, and that may be a little bit low, and that leaves you 30, 35 high school guys, junior college guys combined.
I think I want the over on the transfer number.
Yeah, I mean, you start adding those together, and now you're above. You're at least in the 50 range, but you don't want to be in the 75 to 80 range.
All right, we'll revisit that as we get into August, and then again in October, and then in November, I'll put you on the spot again.
Did you give out the height and the weight? I can't find it here. Is that?
I couldn't find it on any of the recruiting sites either. But you watch him on film. He's certainly not a big kid, but he's not small either. I mean, I'd say
6 footish.
Yeah, 5'11",
right.
6 foot, 180, 175, something in that range. So no, I could not find any of the services or any stories that listed his height and weight either.
And it looks like West Virginia targeted him through some social media posts here. The Mountaineers were his first offer, so he's a guy they identified and went right after.
Yeah, saw him quickly. And again, as I said, this is 9, but we're just starting to get into the heart of what has become the new commitment period. May, June are the heavy times because these will be camp times coming up. So a lot of players will be coming in for visits to participate in camp. So again, all of us old guys, I've said this many times, used to think of, October, November, December is commitment time. 75% of this class at least will be done before June's over.
Well, and also remember, just commitments at this point. There's a lot of runway between commitment and signing day, so we'll see how far they get down the line with these guys.
All right, Jacoby Paisley, again, not spelled the same as Brad Paisley, but I'm sure there'll be someone creatively. They'll have some fun with that, no doubt, when he eventually gets to campus. So a speed burner for the class of 2027 added to the list of recruiting for WVU.
Kyle, one other recruiting note while we're here, just officially putting a bow on Amadou Sini's recruitment, the 7'2", 7'1" player from Bella Vista. He's been officially announced by West Virginia now as being in. So, again, no surprise, just a formality at that point, but Amadou Sini in the fold officially.
Texter from Charleston points out that they had a Jason Williams bobblehead giveaway tonight at the Dirty Birds game, which is really, really cool.
And he was on site there. He was there signing autographs.
Yeah, he's been around quite a bit. This texter asks where Randy Barnes might be these days, a former Olympic gold medal. That's a very good question.
I have no idea. I haven't heard of him involved with the state of West Virginia in a long time. I mean, obviously he's a native of the state, but no, I do not know that.
All right,
and with the Jason Williams, do you need a bobblehead? Shouldn't that be the ball that bobbles?
Exactly.
I mean,
man,
he spun that thing.
I feel like I say this every couple weeks on here, but he's still catching social media traction, and it'll pop up every couple of days. And I stop and watch that every single time when it comes on. And not that we didn't live through it, but it's just jaw-dropping what he did, especially at the NBA level when that game really opened up and he could get up and down. He was unbelievable with the ball, guys.
Well, again, in high school, that's one of the greatest high school events in West Virginia's history is Jason Williams and Randy Moss on the same DuPont basketball team playing at the state tournament, along with the guy on that team that eventually played for the Chicago Bears.
Howard.
Yeah.
Bobby Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So you had three
future pros.
Professional athletes.
3 professional athletes, including one Hall of Famer and a guy who was a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Moss and Williams both fit into that category.
Yeah, really remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, and they were on the same floor together playing basketball. Didn't win the state championship, but still, it was fun to watch that group, no doubt. All right, 304 Talk 304. That's the text line. We'll take a break. We're set to be joined a little bit later on by Robert Shields, head baseball coach at Bridgeport, as he closes in on 1,000 wins. And the CityNet statewide sports line will continue right after this.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The WVU Heart and Vascular Institute is recognized among the best in the nation for heart surgery. It's earned the highest 3-star rating from the Society of Thoracic Surgeons in 5 major cardiac surgery categories. Also, WVU Medicine Thomas Hospitals, Camden Clark Medical Center, and Wheeling Hospital received top star ratings for heart surgery. Learn more about WVU Medicine's Elite Heart Program at wvumedicine.org/heart.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Some showers and thunderstorms expected tonight into the day tomorrow, along with some cool temperatures expected for the weekend. Warmer air on tap as we head into next week. So we'll jump right in, taking a look at what's going on. Watching for some of these showers, thunderstorms, very isolated, but they'll be moving through overnight tonight and then into the day tomorrow as well. If you're not seeing those showers, which many won't, into the day Saturday, expect to just see some cloud cover out there. But as far as precipitation goes, precipitation totals go, we're not expecting to see accumulate too much. Some of those higher totals in areas north, but overall light, but we'll take whatever we can get in these drought conditions. Now here's a quick peek at your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. We're watching for unsettled activity for many, some showers and storms in the forecast. Quick peek at Orlando. Check out that cold front moving through down to 77 degrees. On Sunday. Now your Panhandle to Panhandle forecast, watching for these unsettled activities, those unsettled conditions here as well. Very isolated shower and thunderstorm activity overnight tonight and then into the day tomorrow. This map looking very intimidating. Many areas are going to be staying dry. It's just something to want to be aware of as we're down to 37 degrees in Kingwood tonight. Up to 55 degrees for Saturday afternoon in Kingwood. Otherwise, some isolated showers and storms for Clarksburg, 36 degrees Saturday morning, heating up in Clarksburg to 57 Saturday afternoon. And then Madison, 41 degrees Saturday morning, heating up to 60 degrees Saturday afternoon in Madison, with those very isolated showers expected out there. We'll see more sunshine, though, as we head into the day Sunday and Monday, with some warmer temperatures expected for next week. More showers and storms, though, are expected.
CityNet statewide Sportsline for this Friday. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe with you. Mountaineers against Kansas State underway. The first pitch of the ball game at 6:36. Max Yale on the mound for the Mountaineers, and the lefty delivering the first pitch. Unfortunately, guys, the cool weather and the range just killed the crowd. Doesn't look like there's many people there, but they have gotten underway, and Yale gets the leadoff hitter for Kansas State. So underway over at the ballpark. Head coach Robert Shields of Bridgeport joins us, and he's very close to a milestone. First of all, Coach, good evening to you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's the JV game going? Any weather problems there?
No, we're all right. I think we've dodged it right now. Parkersburg showed up a little bit late. Had a little problem with their bus, but we've got it started about 20 after 6. We're in the bottom half of the first right now.
Well, very good. Well, Coach, as we told our listeners before, you're on the verge of an incredible personal milestone. I know you don't like to talk about yourself much, and I know you'd like to you would have liked to have these in the bank before you talk about it at all, but I know you play pretty much every day next week, and I wanted to bring you on and kind of set this up and congratulate you. 1,000 victories, actually at 998 right now. But just kind of, if you can put into perspective for us, I know that's pretty hard, all the work and all the sweat and all the things that have gone into decades of coaching, and you're personally on the verge of something very, very special.
Well, I'm trying not to think about it, but it was brought to my attention earlier in the year, and I knew I was getting close, but you know, when you're at it, the longevity factor would go into play. But this is this is something it's special. It really is special. I mean, with all the teams that I've had and the way the program was when I took over in 1987 to where we've been, and I'm very happy about that.
So, Bobby, that's what I ask you. Take me back to 87 and maybe even before. When did you get the coaching itch? And did you ever think that in 87 you'd still be coaching in 2026?
I've coached so many sports. I just, it just rolls over from one to the other, and you don't really think about it. I mean, this has been my longest, tenured job here at Bridgeport. I've bounced around all over the place, but the itch is still with me. I mean, at my age, I'm still, feeling young and just wanting to, just keep after it.
The 998 wins is obviously unreal, Bobby, and the state championships, too, are right up there, incredible numbers. If you could try and put your finger on it, and I know there's a lot of factors that go into this and what I'm about to ask you, what's been the biggest key to this consistency over that time? That is so hard to do in sports at any level, but especially the high school level. What's led to that great consistency, do you think?
Well, I think you got to have a vision. You have to have a plan, and I think that's something that, years ago, developing a junior varsity program, getting the numbers out around anywhere between 35 and 50 some kids out for baseball, and the system. When you put it in place, you still have to plug it in. And right now, we've been on a 3-year hiatus to getting to. Well, now it would be Huntington, Charleston, and that's always something that drives you when you get to where you're at. There was a way to build it up to make us get there. But my very first year, we were one step from Charleston, and a bad hop over at Frank Lloyd Field. A bad hop. They had a pea gravel. They decided to use pea gravel over there, and a bad hop off of a pea gravel over my second baseman. Resulting in us getting beat by Central Preston High School, which is now Preston High School. And I think it just kind of flowed and rolled over from year to year, with that group of young men that I had. It just kind of fell into place.
So 998 wins. And what year are you talking about a bad hop there that you still remember? 87?
87. Well, I don't have a heck of a memory. I just do. I could tell you, you're making me laugh, but yeah, that was one that we didn't make it then, and it still haunts me.
Yeah, I get it. Unfortunately, we oftentimes hang on to some of those losses, don't we? I get where you're coming from.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Coach, as you mentioned, you've coached many sports, often at the same time, right? Football, basketball, and baseball. Have you always been a baseball guy, or what made you make the decision to kind of focus on baseball and stick with that all these years?
Well, when I was 19 years old, my cousin Dave Lopez and myself, we started the Bridgeport Legion team. They had folded one year, and that year, when I was in college, I had it for 3 years. And my first time that I applied for the job here, I didn't get it in 86. Graduated college in 85. And then the person that was coaching it, he just went 1 year, and then I got the job the next year. I knew when I was playing, because I started out in engineering, that I wanted to be a coach. And it's just fell in place, with all these years. I just love sports still at this age.
Mm-hmm. How good is this year's Indian team?
It's a day-to-day thing. I mean, we've got some competition among some sophomores. We only have 4 seniors, and there's 2 or 3 people we rotate, and I'm just keeping that competitive edge and keeping them on their toes. My staff's, we're on them as a group. We're just watching them and making sure that they're, watching every step of the way to make them smarter and focused. And I'm very pleased with them so far. Very pleased with this group.
Bobby, so many people have said that kids are changed and they're different, and this is a different world certainly than it once was when you got into it in 87. You buy into that? Have kids changed a lot in your mind?
Oh yeah, definitely. My dad, when he was living, told me that a long time ago. I mean, he said, boys, he'd always said, boy, it's a different group right now. It's a different day. And he was right. He was right then. And that was 2010. So, I mean, that's 16 years ago, but it's changed even more now.
And so what have you had to do to adapt to those changes over all this time you've been coaching? What's the biggest change for you?
I think the biggest thing is you gotta step back a little bit, take a little bit of a deep breath and approach to see what you have. But the character in the kid, you want to make sure that they realize, what task they have at hand, and I think they know what's expected of them when they go here. A lot of these kids could probably play and start on other teams. And they have to. There's a pecking order. I know this year we just have 4 seniors, but last year we had a ton of seniors that were graduated, and some of those senior kids didn't even play. They just were on the team, but there was times that they got beat out by these younger kids, and I think the expectations is what helps set the standard.
Mm-hmm. The collective athletic department at Bridgeport, Coach, it's very unique, and the support you get from the parents and from the community and from the school. Can you put into words, how all that works in terms of the success you have, not only with your sport, but virtually every sport there at Bridgeport High School?
I mean, it's commitment. That's what it is. I mean, it's just overall, you're just a committed group of parents that, their kids, some of them live vicariously through their kids, but it's a commitment that they have, that these young men and, some of the girls teams also, that they have a commitment. So, they set high standards, and I think the coaches do too.
Now, John Lowry at Jefferson has 1,400 plus wins.
Mm-hmm.
You're behind him. Nobody else between you. You going to make a run at him? You got enough games in you?
I don't know. I mean, John and I just spent the weekend. We went over there in the Panhandle and played, and wow. I mean, it's just when you sit there and you're in the other dugout and you're going against John, and you think about how long he's been at that school and still going at it, still coaching third base, and I'm thinking, wow, I don't know. I don't know. You just don't look at that. You just go from year to year.
I have to admit, Coach, I was stunned, and I knew this because I've done the research on you and called your games at the state tournament for years, but I was a little bit taken aback when I saw that this was your 38th year. I mean, you don't look or act that old. I don't see you as being that far into it. Do you feel like you've been doing this for almost 4 decades?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I mean, as for still wanting to mow the grass and brake and jump on a 4-wheeler or the Toro and be down here, I think it's just something that I don't feel it. You know what I mean? I just do not feel that.
Keep on going.
That too, Kyle.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, it's kind of stunning. 38 years. It's hard to believe. All right, so what is the schedule next week?
Monday we have Park South here, and Tuesday we go to Robert C. Byrd. Wednesday we go to Morgantown, and Thursday we have Lincoln.
Okay.
And we have one makeup with North Marion, which I'm trying to hold into the following week because like I say, we're allotted 32 ball games, and we don't start our tournaments till May 18th, and that's a long time to keep your kids prepped and game ready.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's one more thing. You just sparked that in my brain. You're as qualified to comment on this as anybody. What do you think of the new format, the expansion?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I think you're taking away. I've always felt like the last couple of years we're losing that competitive flavor. When you're playing somebody locally and that's your section and all that. I think and it's a hard drive. I mean, my goodness, the Quad A is going to have a lot of, that's a lot of driving.
You mean for the regionals?
Yeah, for the regionals. Yeah, depending on where you're seated. I mean, we've got Hampshire, Kaiser, Lewis, Elkins, us, and Byrd. So that's not that bad. But for Hampshire and Kaiser, whatever seed they may have, they may end up driving, going back, the next day having to drive again, and then go back into this area. Just think about if you went from Wheeling to Jefferson.
Yeah.
Or Hedgesville or that area. That's a haul.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you have to go back, depending on the way it's bracketed.
Mm-hmm. Getting 8 teams in each class to the tournament, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it helps you in some aspects because it gets more people there. They get that feeling of, being a state participant. It's a week-long event, so then that puts you in a situation, say, for instance, in the AAA bracket, you play on Tuesday. Then you don't play again if you win until Thursday. Then you play on Saturday. So those kids are out of their homes. If you stay Tuesday night, Wednesday night, play Thursday, Friday, that's and then that's expenses, that goes into play too for some schools.
Yeah, well, you think about single A, they play on Saturday. And then
we were just talking about that up here.
Yeah, they play on Saturday, and then I would imagine everybody goes home because your semifinals aren't until the following Wednesday or Thursday, and then the championship the following Saturday. So those single A teams, it's an 8-day thing.
Yeah. You often wonder, because it's been kicked around at the committee meetings, if it would be like at 2 sites. If you did your upper class, your lower classes, and have 2 sites, that might be a little bit better, but really you don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's just something new. Just hope to be a part of it.
Yep. We'll all find out together coming up in June. Well, Coach, again, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. 998 wins with at least 4 games, maybe 5 games scheduled next week, and just let us allow you to congratulate you in advance.
I appreciate that.
All right, Coach.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Have a great evening.
You too. Coach Robert Shields there of Bridgeport at 998 wins. Again, Parkersburg South Monday, Byrd on Tuesday, Morgantown on Wednesday, Lincoln on Thursday.
I know we got to get a break in here, but breaking news here, West Virginia up 1-0 early on Kansas State. Paul Schoenfeld, give Tyler Barnett credit. We had him on last night.
Yeah.
He said Schoenfeld's a guy to watch. He already drove one into the gap, drives in Gavin Kelly. Mountaineers off to an early lead, runner on second.
Mountaineers 1-0 in the bottom of the first. All right, we do need to get our final break in. We will return on the CityNet statewide Sportsline coming up.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind. I forgot
and
about
onions.
this. Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
Final few minutes, CityNet statewide Sportsline on this Friday. Mountaineers, K-State got them out, right? They settled for one.
Yeah, Gravelin goes down swinging there. Schoenfeld stranded at second. We move to the top of the second, 1-0 Mountaineers.
So, again, West Virginia with an opportunity to jump on this pitcher who's making his first start of the year through 20-plus pitches in that first inning. So he's probably not long for the game regardless, but it'd be nice if they could do some damage against him early, second, third inning.
I agree with you. And you could tell that early. Gavin Kelly worked him started with an 0-2 count, got him into 4 consecutive balls. Schoenfeld was working him, getting that pitch count up as well. So you're right, Kyle. Would have liked to tack on another one there, get a little greedy when you get a runner in scoring position. But good early start to get to him and make him throw some pitches.
How'd Maxiel look in his first inning of work?
Was busy talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was glancing to see the number of outs, but yeah, I didn't see him pitch very much. Couple of texts here. Texter says the recruit Paisley, fast kid, and that's great, but can he catch the ball? I remember when Tavon was at West Virginia, there was a fast kid from Texas. I remember one of the NFL scouts making a comment that the difference between him and Tavon was Tavon had track speed but was a football player, and the kid from Texas was a track star that played football. So what side will this kid fit into those statements?
I mean, again, highlights are always difficult to judge because I've never seen a highlight where they show you dropping the football, right? Missing a block, whatever.
So did he catch all his passes
Every
in the highlights?
pass I saw that was thrown his way, he caught. And he had 40-some catches last year, so, I mean, his numbers were very, very good. But I can't tell you emphatically that he's got great hands because I didn't see him with any problems.
Texter, we could do a whole show on this. Maybe we will in the summer. Hey, guys, which sport do you think West Virginia will be most improved, football or basketball next season? This texter says he thinks it's going to be football.
Yeah, I'll say football because you're coming from a further distance away. You only had 4 wins last year in football. I do think that improves. I think, remember, this is a basketball team that won 21 games. You haven't won that many games since the 2020 season. So that's a shorter runway to improve on that in basketball. So I think the easier answer there is to side with football, Greg.
Fair. Very fair.
Both teams rebuilt roster-wise. So we'll see how that goes. 1-0 West Virginia, Kansas State batting in the top of the second. Pirates hosting the Reds. The Reds in first place, as a texter pointed out last night. The Cubs in second, one game out.
Thank you, and have already won today, of course, the
Have
Cubs.
they? Okay, so they're a half game
on the
out.
Reds, yeah.
All right, so the Cubs a half game out on May 1st.
Thank you, Kyle.
Cardinals making a charge after sweeping 4 from Pittsburgh.
They swept the Pirates, so the Cardinals is certainly in the mix. Anyway, Pirates and the Reds tonight. Mitch Keller, Brady Singer, your pitching duo, and that game is in a rain delay up in Pittsburgh. So they're not going to get that one, or they didn't get started on time. And the start of that contest delayed between the Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds.
K-State with a runner on, first hit off Yale, runner on first in the top of the second.
Greg and Travis Jones will be back on the Sunday night Sportsline. They'll recap the Kansas State West Virginia baseball series. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks to Brad and to Greg. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening and watching the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.